What's up, guys? Today on Pew Pew Reviewz, I'm going to be talking about the Sig Sauer Romeo 4C 1x20mm compact red dot optic. Now, if you're in the market for a red dot sight for your AR-15 platform or for any other rifle, and you're looking at a Neotech or a Aim Point Micro or something similar to that, I highly recommend that you give this optic a look. This thing is packed with features, and for the price, I don't think there's anything on the market that's quite like it, in my opinion. So this sight there's 4 different models. There's a 4A, a 4B, a 4C, and a 4M. The 4C, which is this one, is the only one that comes with the solar panel on the top, which means that it can run on solar energy or battery power. So that's unique to this model, and that's the reason why I got this model. So I just want to do a quick unboxing, and then I'll talk about some of the features briefly, and then compare it to an EOTech EXPS3-0 and an Aimpoint Micro T2 with a 2 MOA dot, and just kind of compare the 3 of them and tell you which one I prefer and for what reasons. So without any further ado, this is the box that it comes in. This is Sig Sauer Romeo 4. They use the same box for all 4 models, so that's why they don't specify here. Here are some of the features and the specifications. You can go ahead and pause the video there if you want to read through them. I'm not going to go through every single thing right now, but you can read it if you would like. You can pause it at any time. So here's the 4C, solar and battery powered, and this is what the reticle will look like. Actually, there's 2 reticles. I'll talk more about that in a minute. And then here's the bottom. Sorry for the glare. And if you want more information on the different models, you can go to sigoptics.com. See down in the corner, and they have a nice little chart that'll explain all the differences between the 4 models. Those are some of the features. All right. So when you open the box, you have a piece of padding on top. You have the owner's manual, Electro-Optics Romeo 4. Comes with a microfiber lens cloth, bikini lens covers that say Sig on them, as well as the flip up or flip down lens covers that say Sig. So I took those off. They come installed on the site, but I took them off. They just screw on and off real easily. It also comes mounted on this Absolute Co-Witness Picatinny mount. It's a quick detach mount. You can see there's a little button here in the back. Press this and it releases the lever, and then you go ahead and mount this on your Picatinny rail, close the lever down, and that's it, nice and snug. Now if you put it too tight, when you fire the gun, this thing will pop open from the recoil. If there's too much upward or not upward, but too much pressure on this lever, outward pressure, because it's too tight, the recoil may allow this thing to open up. It did for me, so I had to loosen it up a little bit. So don't put it too tight, just make it snug, and this thing isn't going anywhere. All right, so it also comes with a low profile mount, which is not quick detach. This one you'll need an Allen key to loosen it up. You put it on the rail, tighten it up. It's not quick detach. It comes with a battery here, which is already in the optic, and a battery removal tool as well. So that's the contents of the box. And now, like I said, this optic is powered by one CR2032 battery that goes into this battery tray here, as well as a solar panel that's on the top of the sight. Now, it will only run on solar power if the battery is completely dead. So if the battery is completely dead, it'll switch to this solar panel on the top, and the sight will keep going, which is awesome. I mean, you can't get that in the micro, an Aimpoint micro. You can't get that on an EOTech. That's something that's unique to this sight. I know HoloSun has a sight very similar to this. In fact, Sig was accused of just rebranding that HoloSun optic, and they said that they didn't rebrand it, that this is a unique design from Sig, but it's very similar. So there is a HoloSun optic out there. It's about $250 or so that does have that feature, but this one from Sig also has that feature, and this to me is a more robust sight. It also comes from a more reputable manufacturer in my opinion, but that's neither here nor there. So it has 10 daytime brightness settings and 2 night vision brightness settings, as well as 2 different reticles. I'm going to try to show the reticles here as best as I can. This is not a really great representation through the camera, but and there's a lot of glare too, so I'm trying to alleviate some of that. But so that's as bright as it goes. And then you get into your night vision settings there. Now, if you have it set on, like a medium setting in the house, when you go outside into extremely bright sunlight, this solar panel will actually adjust your reticle and make it brighter, which is nice. It does not have an auto adjust feature like a Trigicon RMR or something like that, so it won't auto adjust like if you go into a dark room or anything like that. The only thing it does is if you go out into bright sunlight, it will brighten your reticle so that it doesn't wash out in the sunlight. So that's a nice feature. It also offers 2 different reticles. You can cycle between the 65 MOA circle with a 2 MOA dot in the middle. If you hold down the up and down adjustment buttons, brightness adjustment buttons, it'll switch to a 2 MOA dot. So there's your Aimpoint reticle, and there's your EOTech reticle. The only difference is this is a 2 MOA dot. The EOTech has a 1 MOA dot in the middle. But I think that that's pretty cool. So now I'm going to compare slightly and briefly. I have an Aimpoint Micro T2 2 MOA dot here, and an EOTech EXPS3-0 red dot sight. So the first thing I want to talk about is the price. If you're in the market for a red dot sight, I'm sure that price is a concern. So this Aimpoint here is going to cost you about $700 for just the sight, and then you're going to need to purchase some type of mount, which is probably going to cost you another $100. So to get this thing on your rifles, you're looking at about $800. The EOTech comes with a built-in mount, so it has its own mounting system. There's no third-party mount here for this, and this is going to run you about $600. This, however, with this mount and the other mount, is only going to cost you about $400. So that's a huge plus. I think this is a fantastic sight for the price, and I think it can compete well with these other sights. Now, the only thing I can't promise is that this Romeo 4 is going to have the durability to outlast either of these other 2 sights. These other 2 sights have a huge track record in military and law enforcement and other applications. So, this Romeo 4 does not have that track record. This is a fairly new sight from Sig Sauer. And they do offer their lifetime warranty, and they call it their infinite warranty on anything except for the electronic components. So if anything gets damaged, broken glass, dented housing, turret breaks, anything mechanical like that, they'll take care of you free of charge, even if they have to replace it. The electronic components are covered for 5 years. So anything electronic is only going to be covered for 5 years. The next thing I want to talk about, probably one of my things I don't like about this site is that these adjustment buttons. I'm not crazy about buttons. I really like the wheel, the knob on the aim point, because it's a lot easier for me to grab it and twist it whichever direction I need to twist it in order to make my reticle brighter or dimmer. This takes me a little bit more time and finesse. When I'm reaching up here, I got to feel for the buttons, and when I have gloves on, or if I'm wearing gloves, it just becomes that much more difficult. So that's one of the things I don't like about it. I prefer the brightness adjustment method on the aim point, but it's not a deal breaker. Now, both of these sites have 12 brightness settings, 10 daytime and 2 night vision settings. The EOTech has 20 daytime settings and 10 night vision settings. So you adjust it with these buttons, and then you press this night vision when you want to go to night vision, and then you can adjust it there as well. Now, the battery life is a big deal to me as well. The EOTech really doesn't do well in that category. This is going to offer you 600 hours of battery life with one CR123 battery. These other two are going to offer significantly more at 50,000 hours of battery life on one CR2032 battery. And that's about 5 years of battery life. So that's a lot more than this EOTech. Now, these two sites here are sites that you would leave on all the time, so they're constant on. This EOTech is not going to be that type of site. You're going to have to turn this on before every time you want to use it, because if not, your battery is just going to die really quickly. The other thing that's nice about this Romeo that you don't get with the aim point is that this has Sig Sauer's MOTAC activation system, so it's motion activated. If it is sitting still for 2 minutes, the sight will shut off, and as soon as it senses any type of motion, it'll turn back on. So that's going to further extend your battery life with this site. And then if the battery ever dies and you have any type of light source, you can power it with the solar panel on top. So that's another plus when it comes to battery life. So I think most people's concerns with red dot optics or electronics, any type of electronics, is the battery life and failure. People don't like to rely on electronics. But I think that this one offers the most reliability in that sense because it's dual illuminated, which I really like. The only thing I really don't like about this site is that it's graphite. I don't really know how I feel about that, to be honest. I like everything to be black on my rifle, and this kind of throws it off a little bit. Not sure why they went with that graphite color instead of keeping it black, but I guess I'll just have to deal with it. These turrets are really easy to adjust, very similar to the aim point. You just unscrew this, flip it upside down, and this little nub here fits into the top of the turret, and you can just adjust it up or down, left or right. You can see on the back of the sight here, it tells you where to adjust, which direction to turn for right, which direction to turn for up, and that's on the back of the sight, which is really nice because if you have your rifle on your shoulder and you're shooting at the range and you need to make an adjustment, you don't have to take your shoulder off the stock, turn the rifle sideways, and look at what you're doing. You can just see everything right from the back, make your adjustment, and keep firing, which is really nice. So yeah, if you're in the market for a red dot optic and you're thinking about an aim point or an EOTech, I would definitely give this a look. This is the optic that I use on my rifle, and I have all three of them, and I prefer this one. Even using it with a magnifier, with an EOTech 3x magnifier, everything is crisp and clean. I don't get any distortion with the reticle. So this is a really good optic, a really good choice in my opinion, and for the price, I don't think you can beat it. So that's all I got. That's the Romeo 4C from Sig Sauer Optics. Make sure you subscribe to Pew Pew Reviewz on YouTube and follow Pew Pew Reviewz with a Z on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you.